If you could please go up the stairs and take a seat.
Five human values are love, truth, peace, right conduct, non-violence.
The current education system, educators generally all around the globe are recognizing that there is a need in education to infuse it with values. There is no question about that. Our increasing youth suicide, our crime rates, our family disruption, the rise globally in drug usage indicates that there is a dysfunction at a very fundamental level. Education has become too technical and separated from personality development and human needs and has focused too much on intellectual development. If you take a look at the mission statements of most schools, they are about values, and yet there are no processes in the schools for the implementation of values education. Part of the problem is the lack of teaching skills, that the teachers are not prepared in being able to impart values in their teaching. They are given a lot of instruction and they are very skilled in giving information, but they are not necessarily prepared or given training in being able to deliver values.
Hi, my name's Cal Atkins and I joined the staff at Sathya Sai Primary School in 2008, and when I first started, EHV lessons were totally new to me. I hadn't experienced anything like this before in a school, and I'm so glad that I did. We integrate EHV lessons into our week, starting with a formal lesson on a Monday, which roughly goes for about an hour. And we begin with discussing what the topic is for that fortnight, what that value is and what the sub-value is. And then we find a story that relates to that value and we read through the story together. Then we have a song that teaches that value as well, which becomes ingrained in the children's mind and part of their song repertoire for the rest of their life, hopefully, and something that they enjoy to sing. And we do a mind map together on the board, and with the mind map we look at what is that value, and what does it mean, and what does it do for us, and what does it do for others, and are there any opposites to that value, and really get to understand that value more closely. And by doing that, it helps the children to not only understand what the value means, but then hopefully be able to integrate that understanding into their life and help them to make better choices and help them to empathise with others. And it helps to build their character and to help them hopefully make them a better person, make good choices within their life. And after our formal EHV lesson for the week, then we try and incorporate that value and that sub-value and that understanding throughout the rest of the week. So there might be an incident that happens in the playground and the children will come in and we will discuss it and say, were you showing empathy? Were you giving that person a fair go? We also have a silent sitting, which is a very important part of our EHV lesson, which begins the lesson, where it's an opportunity for the children to sit quietly and just find some inner peace, a time where they can calm down, maybe when they've just come back in from lunch or recess, sit quietly, gather their thoughts, hopefully work through their thoughts and just sit in peace and collect themselves so they are ready to move on to the next lesson. We start the day with a silent sitting session in the assembly, and then when the children come in after recess or after lunch, or even if it's a transition between one lesson to another, a silent sitting session might only be 30 seconds, might be a minute, is a really good way for the whole class to calm down, to reflect what they have learnt, and then to prepare themselves for what they are about to learn.
In a school, ideally, the teachers would have been exposed to a deep spiritual culture of being able to look upon teaching not as a job, but as a calling. To be looking at the children and structuring their minds and their hearts and their behaviors to give them a orientation to life which will stand them forever. So that no matter what happens in their life, they are successful. So success for the child is defined as achieving their own preset goals, not necessarily determining success in terms of what they will have by way of formal qualifications or money in the bank or job or that type of benchmark that is often used as success.
Hi Donna.
Hi Leela.
Cooper's been with us for 2 years,
Yep.
kindy, and now he's in year 1.
That's right.
So I was just wondering of getting your opinion of how do you think Cooper's doing at the school and how you are feeling about the school as well.
Well, we all love it in our family. We were hesitant to bring him to this school because we didn't sort of have an understanding of the Sai organisation, and we weren't sure whether it had sort of a religious side of it, but we've found that it's just the values have been so wonderful in both Cooper bringing the values home to the family to help us remember the values, and also the school reiterating what we're trying to teach him at home. And I think that's just so important. That's something that my husband and I were really desperate about sending him to school and hearing all the stories about what comes home from school. And he really just brings positive home from school.
That's good to know.